Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Midsommar, directed by Ari Aster, starring Florence Pugh, Jack Rayner, Will Poulter, among others, several others. My name is Scott Ellis. I'm joined here by Phil Clark.
I heard you were bringing the magic mushrooms.
Ooh.
You were bringing.
You mean
Who brought
these?
No, I didn't bring any, but Adam has them clearly. Also joining us is Tyler Switolski.
Hey,
Glad you could make it.
I ate my mushrooms.
Yeah. Also joining us is Adam Franey.
Yeah, I'm here for the Midsummer Festivus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyped to go to Sweden. Let's put it that way.
Oof, I
You
don't
going?
know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm in. Phil, can you give us a little synopsis of Midsommar?
I'm going.
A young couple travels to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown and attend its midsummer festival. What begins as an idyllic retreat quickly descends into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. 2019.
Interesting.
Never
Midsommar,
thought about it like that. Interesting.
follow-up from Ari Aster to Hereditary, which is a film that I believe most of us enjoyed quite a bit.
Number 3 on my list. Top 10 last year.
I love Hereditary.
Beautiful film.
I was very hyped for this film going into it.
That's what's up.
Phil.
Mhm.
Let's start with you, Phil. What are your thoughts about Midsommar? I know you were also very excited for this film.
This is my most anticipated of the year.
Shabango.
Very high after Hereditary.
Just let it go, guys.
I saw this movie.
You did.
I really like this movie.
Of course you did.
I didn't love this movie.
Ooh.
Now, Adam, before we started rolling, I'm pretty sure you said
He was talking a big game.
talking five bang.
Said he could read my mind. It's not a 5 for me.
I read it a little wrong. My tea leaves were a little.
It happens. It happens every so often to the best of us. But
Yes.
Phil, what did you like about it? Tell us a little bit about your thoughts about it.
What's your thoughts?
I
Phil?
think
Go
I
ahead.
initially thought
ahead.
this was a Hereditary style horror movie, where it was a very horror-ish type of movie, but it's not really
Horror-ish.
horror-ish. Horror-ish.
Horror-ish.
It's definitely more of a psychological thriller that has some bizarre and terrifying aspects to it.
A little bit Wicker Man.
And I just don't know if I was expecting that. I think that kind of threw me for a bit of a
You
loop.
thought you were going to see more horror.
I thought I was
more
going to
horror
see,
elements.
yeah, more horror.
Horror.
Well,
Have you guys seen Apostle on Netflix
yes.
with
No.
Dan Stevens?
No.
Very apostle-esque.
Now that is like horror. That leans into the cultism, but more horror side of it, right?
I was because
So that's more the horror side, but this is more psychological.
this is definitely more psychological. Visually, this movie is beautiful, literally beautiful.
Visuals are great.
It's
Stunning, would you say?
at no point is it ever boring to look at.
Lots of colors.
Tons
Tons of colors.
Tons of
Oh,
Popping
man.
out
If you
everywhere.
like colors,
Yeah, this is a good movie. They did some cool effects. People are on drugs at some point in this movie. Really,
Some point.
some points in this movie, people are on drugs. Very weird, very trippy sequences. People are lined up great. People look crazy. I just don't think. I'll say it's hard for me to talk more about this movie without getting into the gripes. My biggest gripe is that I loved going on the experience of this movie.
Okay.
It's a great journey to go on.
Okay.
I don't think the payoff is that great at the end of
Really?
the movie. I think it kind of, I don't want to say
Was it a wet
falters.
noodle?
Little limp noodle
A little loosey goosey.
at the end.
Well, it's
Pagan
not the right
payoff.
term.
No?
Huh?
Okay.
I think the characters are strongish. I think Florence Pugh is really, really good in this movie. I thought her character was.
Might be the best I've seen of her.
I haven't seen anything
What
else.
else
of
is
her.
she?
This is the first I've seen her.
Me too.
This
We
is
did
definitely
that
the best.
movie with Chris Pine as Robert the Bruce.
Okay.
Oh, I have seen that
She
movie.
was the wife.
I've seen
She
it.
was
before.
solid in that. She was in Fighting with My Family or whatever, that wrestling movie. She was good in that.
She was very good in this.
But she was great in this.
She was really, really good.
I mean, the
Yeah.
those scenes were great.
The
I-
physicality of a lot of what
But
she does.
you can tell she put a lot
Yeah.
physically into it. Right?
Yeah.
definitely bought into it. I really liked her performances. I thought her boyfriend was a scummy piece of shit.
Shitbag.
Jack.
I don't think that was like a shock to anybody that he was a scummy piece of shit.
Christian in the film.
I don't think he was a scummy piece of shit.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Debate
We'll touch
cast.
back on
Yeah.
that. We'll circle
Yeah.
back around to that.
I can't
Yeah.
wait. It's because you liked his. Right?
But
His dick.
I think the dynamics of this movie were very interesting. I
Hmm.
enjoyed watching it. I felt the ending, while extremely weird and memorable, was
Indeed.
definitely not like something
Hereditary-esque.
I was expecting. Yeah, it was just like it was almost out of left field, if that makes sense. I kind of see where they were going with it, but I just didn't feel like it had a lot of impact
I
until
think
the
it was.
very
I
end.
think it
was
was
like,
right out of center field.
I think it was a line drive.
I don't know,
This
like-
is a direct
Pop fly right to the catcher.
borderline
Right to the
too
catcher.
obvious.
I just felt like I was like, okay, like they're doing this, that's fine, but I wasn't like, oh my god, like that's so great. Like now this all it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't tie it up nicely.
if that makes sense. That was my take on it.
Let's
I'll
jump over to
hear
you,
what guys
Adam.
think.
You're allowed to be wrong.
Jump over to you, Adam. What are your thoughts about Midsommar?
It's a 5.
Well, Hereditary. I don't want to freak anyone out. Excellent horror masterpiece. I would go as far as to say.
Would your girlfriend go as far as
Modern
to say the
masterpiece.
same thing?
Modern masterpiece.
She would say it's shit.
Okay.
My girlfriend. Shouts out to Emily.
Midsummer or Hereditary? She didn't like Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Both. Sorry, Ari.
Ari,
You're pumping out
buddy.
shit.
Over 2.
For moi, I love Ari Aster. I was super hyped for this movie coming off of Hereditary.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't love it.
Oh.
I didn't hate it, but I did not love it.
Okay.
I thought it was very middling. I thought it was a mixed bag. It had highs,
Literal highs.
mushroom highs, and it had lows. To be honest, I thought it was visually stunning. So he carried that over from his Hereditary bag, like you already mentioned. All the trip out drug visuals are beautiful. The colors are beautiful.
Colors in Hereditary?
Well, he went with like a flip mirror image color palette.
Oh, okay.
Hereditary's like muted, right? Very dark.
Okay.
This was everything is
Quite
almost
the
glowing.
opposite, yeah.
It's
You feel like it's summer.
sun-soaked.
Like there's
Yes.
tons of like flowers and brightness.
It's a bit overexposed
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
super, like over bright.
Beautiful production design, like the yellow
Yeah.
pyramid
All the
hut
buildings and
Yeah.
everything.
where they slept in their bunks was like all the like
Oh,
rooms on the walls, like just cool.
Stunning.
This magnifique.
Bella.
Bella. Problem is, it felt like I've seen it before. Like it didn't elevate this type of movie the way he takes, a haunted house, I guess, or exorcism or whatever genre you want to call Hereditary, and like pushed it forward. Did something amazing with it. This, I just feel like beyond the visuals,
Didn't break new ground.
didn't break new ground. Just didn't push it. Like I feel like it could have been any like summer vacation teen horror movie. You know what I mean? If not for the visuals, and again, it was visually stunning for sure. And I thought all the performances were awesome. Like Jack Rayner, I thought was good. Like he really made I hated him. I thought he was shit. Sorry, a piece of shit. Florence Pugh was amazing. I thought absolutely amazing, but I don't know. Yeah, I could just kind of like see through it more than maybe it's not fair because this is the second one. Like if I hadn't seen Hereditary, maybe I would have been a lot more like gut punched. Like I'm excited to hear your take, Ty. But like he's got so the story's centralized around this like tragic like grief, right? Main character's dealing with this like insane loss of family. That's your like emotional anchor like Hereditary, and then they're going off and trying something new, trying to find ways to deal with it. Right, it just felt like the same formula, which is not as good. I can't get into spoilers, but yeah, I just feel like it didn't bring enough new to the table. But I didn't despise it. Like it was an enjoyable, Like, okay, well, yeah, it was like a fun little.
I never felt bored. I don't think.
Yeah, I was never bored.
Yeah.
It is a slow burn,
Yeah.
and it's it's pretty long.
I say the entire film was a slow burn, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, like it's
Then
deliberately
there's a fast
paced.
burn.
And there is some horrific imagery, some fucked up, disturbing shit. Obviously, Ari's bringing the disturbing stuff to the table.
Yeah, Ari's fucked.
He,
I love the
Ari's
cult stuff. Though.
fucked.
Like I'm in for that all day.
He was
the
brought
what?
a little bit of cult in the Hereditary,
The
a little
cult.
culty stuff.
Yeah.
Cult.
Oh, he loves a
Yeah,
good
He
cult.
went full
man.
cult this time.
Yeah.
Runic shit.
He loves runes. He loves cults. He loves
Huge fan of runes.
arranging things.
Well, Ty, let's jump over to you. I'm curious to get your thoughts about Midsommar.
Oh, I'll start by saying this. I did not see Hereditary. Gasp.
Did you
I
see
know.
Midsommar?
Not a prerequisite
Yeah.
necessarily.
So I have...
Recommended though.
It is recommended for sure. I went against the recommendation. Did
Didn't-
not watch it.
Didn't you? Sorry to interject.
No.
Didn't you leave the review once we started talking about it?
Hereditary? Yeah.
because you
I
thought
wanted
it
to
sounded
see
so
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
then
you had a
then
year.
never
but
watched it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Sorry,
Okay.
blazed you. Sorry,
Does
dude.
that surprise any of you? Or is this...
No.
No, I just
You
like,
never miss.
it
any-
doesn't-
Moving on.
Fuck up.
It was just something about this movie was so beautifully artsy,
Ooh. Ooh.
but
And yet,
it was there was something missing from it. And I think I'm going to agree with Phil that it was something towards the end that kind of needed to tie it up a little neater. Like something that like when you have like an ending scene sort of like you had, like you want to have that moment where it's like, oh, and this just
you're waiting for them to tell you. What
no,
it
no,
means.
I'm waiting for you to kind of connect it yourself, but there wasn't really that, there wasn't that thing there to connect it all for me.
Right.
It was just kind of, all right, there was just a series of events, and then that series of events,
I agree with
and
you.
then it kind of ended on a series of events. It didn't kind of come back at all.
That's my main problem with the movie. I don't think there is anything more there than exactly
What you see.
what you're seeing.
Yeah, surface level. Yeah.
Like
I
nothing.
disagree.
I think there's something there. I just don't think it.
Debate cast 2019. Oh, I want to be taught though. Tell me.
I'm gonna stick to my guns.
Tell me, man.
It's okay. Ow, you keep touching it. Okay. Huge sunburn. The performances were incredible in this. To me, every single person
Really?
was amazing in this.
The bear.
The bear.
It's
It's
a bear.
Did
Oh,
you
my
guys see
mind.
that A24 was selling bears in a cage?
Yeah.
And they sold out instantly. Like it was like a little wooden
Okay.
wooden box with a little like bear.
Plush bear. Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
with like
In the
with
cage.
They
like
meant
a
a
little,
real.
That's
fucking
what I
little
thought.
wreath.
Like just to go with the insanity of this film, they're gonna sell caged bears.
Yeah, it was like running for like it was like 110K. You could buy an actual bear. in a
A24,
box.
the goat.
Yeah.
And they
No,
would ship
no,
it to your house.
Truly.
Peter would be all over that.
Pugh, what's her last name or what's her first name?
Florence.
Florence Pugh. Haven't seen her in anything ever, but she was very good. I
She'll
thought,
be in Black Widow. I'm sure you'll see that.
is she?
Yeah.
Okay,
She's the new Black Widow.
because I
Yes.
watched this, I was like, she would be perfect as Black Widow.
not.
100%.
She's
She's
not. I
not.
just made that up.
Fuck!
She's in it. She's not Black
Ah.
I just fucked.
I
your
hate
mind.
you so much.
Widow.
You fell for it. It was too easy.
Oh,
She's just in it. She's just in it.
fuck you. Okay. But she was amazing. Jack Rayner, I don't think was a shitbag. Now,
Tell us why.
the two of you. Okay.
Well-
so I'm gonna hold on to it.
Can we wait till spoilers?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably best.
That's probably better.
Yeah, I'd have to dive into some stuff. But yeah,
But you
just
didn't love it.
I didn't love it.
Yeah,
It-
what
missing
did you
something.
think? I'm missing.
I
what
really
you thought.
really did enjoy it.
Okay.
Like I
Really?
thought it was there was something
That's
about
good.
it that was just it was really compelling.
Okay.
But I just wish it kind of tied up neater. That's really like my
See
only.
Hereditary.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 You should.
It's
Oh.
like
Fuck.
it's
Fuck.
like whatever's missing from this that has it. I would say.
Yeah, there's like a wild. Oh, it gets wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a
I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
I think I probably liked it the most out of you guys. I liked it quite a lot. I do think there is more to it than just what happened. I was reading a couple of interviews, and one thing that Florence Pugh was saying, well, we'll get to it in the spoilers,
FP?
but basically she didn't believe her character would actually do that. What happened right at the end, that it was... She couldn't do it if she believed that her character would actually do that. Anyways, hard to explain with that.
I'd argue that, actually.
I'm ready to
That's
sink
what she
in.
said.
I'm ready to sink in.
I'll argue.
I do think there is a level to it, but I will agree. I think it wasn't as overt as maybe it could have been. Like, say, like the metaphor, if you will, of what this film is about. As far as relating to like the grief aspect of it and sort of how her character was dealing with it. But yeah, overall I liked it. Like, repeating a lot of what you guys said, visuals amazing, performances were great. I liked Will Poulter in this. And I like the other guy, William Jackson Harper, played the other friend who was doing his thesis. That Jack Rayner was kind of
he was great.
piggybacking on. I thought he was great. I hadn't seen him in anything.
He's on a show on The Good Place. He's really good. He plays like this really like nerdy sort of like
shaky guy.
Yeah, like high, like he's like high intelligence sort of. He's like, but like really nerdy guy who's like totally like crazed about moral ethics. So it was kind of cool to kind of see that
his character.
Yeah, in this. I've never seen him anything but that.
Right. Yeah, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
The Swedish friend Willem Blomgren was great as well.
Sorry, what was that last? What was that?
Willem Blomgren.
Oh, okay.
Blomgren.
Sounds like you just grabbed a bunch of Scrabble letters.
Willem Blomgren. He was great. I just thought everyone was good. Even the supporting cult members, cultists. They were all great. But yeah, I you know what I loved about this film? It's just
Thanks, man.
Honestly, it's the secondhand cringe. I live off the secondhand cringe.
Oh, you want to talk secondhand cringe?
Oh,
of just being uncomfortable watching a scene and then feeling the pheromones in the room.
Can we talk about the first-hand cringe of this movie? Like, sure, the second-hand cringe was bad, but the first-hand.
I live for that shit, though. I love that.
Oh,
Yorgos Lanthimos-esque.
Yeah, Yorgos style, full Yorgos.
Haven't felt this cringy since Mother.
Ari went full Yorgos. Yeah, a little Mother. In some.
I said that going into it, actually, weirdly enough.
But yeah, there were just some great scenes. There was an excellent sex scene that I thought was hilarious.
So funny.
Oh boy.
We didn't talk about this, but I thought this movie was like, I think Hereditary had some cringe humor and some funny jokes in it. This movie's like way more overtly funny.
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff in there that like made me laugh, and I was like
Will Poulter had some great funny lines, like when he's high, and even just his character in general was kind of a bit of comedic relief.
Yeah, I hated his character at the beginning. Like he's like just the portrayal of his character. Like I hated
him the whole time.
Something about him just bothered me, but like as the movie went on, I kind of like
scummy.
He kind of bothered me less. But like towards the end, I thought he was great though.
I mean, it does feel like a bit with his character got cut out kind of near the end.
More than bits. I got bits.
I mean, Ari was saying, I think initially the first cut was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Fuck.
There's probably a lot more of that.
Which is pretty crazy, but I think he wants to do a director's cut that's 30 minutes longer.
Send it.
Which would have a lot more scenes.
To me, if you're going to do like the director's cut of a movie like this, release what you want.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, no, but like I would do like the full 340.
I'm talking
No, but obviously you're going to have pacing issues. You're going to have other problems. But 30 more minutes, you can get some scenes that you had to cut for other reasons and pacing and other reasons.
I think if people saw like the runtime on like 3 hours 15, they would have been like, probably not going to see this.
Would have made $0.
Yeah.
So
it's probably
certain. Yeah.
It's done okay too. 18 million, I believe. Like 7 million budget or something. It's done it's made double its budget at least.
Yeah. Great.
That's pretty good.
A24 is killing it right now.
Oh, they're smoking.
Every film they're coming out with this year so far has been.
I don't know what the reviews are. I assume like divisive reviews for this.
81% RT, so
a lot higher than I thought it would be.
Me too.
But could be 81% gave it 6 out of 10. So that's the way it is with Rotten Tomatoes.
I thought it'd be like a 50 down the middle.
Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah.
No, but just overall I enjoyed it. I don't have as much issues maybe with it. I enjoyed the ride. I enjoyed the cringe. And
I feel the
I will say I do think they could have been a bit more over it with it, like you guys said, as far as maybe tying it in more with the grief. There were some elements, she had some nightmares and certain things tying back to that first opening sequence.
You got little like sprinklings of it throughout, like a 3-second bit there, a 2-second bit there, but other than that, you wouldn't really get a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Again, reminiscent of Hereditary.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's give our ratings, and we can get into some spoiler talk. I'm going to go with light 4.
I was also going to go 4.
Light 4 or 4?
A 4.
A 4. Okay.
A 4.
I'm going to go heavy 3.
Heavy 3?
Heavy 3.
Heavy 3. I gotta be the bad guy and go 3. Just a plain Jane.
Wow.
3 banger.
So disappointed.
How do you think I feel?
Well, for everyone, if you haven't seen Midsommar, we can talk some spoilery aspects, so you've been warned.
You've been warned, bro.
I mean, the opening of this film starts off, and, pretty devastating.
Oh, how brutal is that scene?
Oh boy.
I mean, it went from, I was like, oh, for sure, her sister's committing suicide.
That's what I thought.
100%.
And she was.
And then there was the triple whammy of both her parents. She killed both her parents, too.
What I loved is that
the
first thing we heard was the phone call. And then we see her parents in bed, and we're like, oh, they're asleep.
Yeah.
And then, it circles back later to it. It's
fam.
like, no, they're fucking dead, bro.
I knew that, once they actually said what the text message was, and, you read it out, oh, okay, so she's going to kill herself, and she's going to kill the parents. I did not think that it was going to be that brutal of a murder-suicide. Think about what she did and what you saw. She had to go and start the cars, run multiple lengths of hose throughout the house. It takes time to set that shit up. She was determined to go through with this.
That's fucked up.
And, just duct tape it to her face. That's insane.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, so,
Brutal.
Basically, Florence Pugh's character, I forget her name.
Danny?
Danny boy.
Danny's already having a bit of issues with Christian. I guess Christian's trying to break it off, but he can't, bring himself to break it off, and ends up inviting Danny to their boys' trip to Sweden, and she ends up tagging along. And yeah, I just feel like as far as that, the whole grief aspect, I felt like you could almost imagine their whole trip to Sweden being a metaphor of what's happening in their relationship, as far as basically what their characters are, how they're sort of, coming apart a bit. She's, getting closer to the Swedish friend. You can almost imagine it not happening in Sweden at all.
Yeah.
Just happening at home, but it's just kind of, they use the sort of guise of being at this cult as sort of a
means.
Sort of showing it. And obviously, the sex scene I was talking about earlier with Jack Rayner, which I thought was hilarious.
So funny.
Hilariously cringy. Anytime you see a line of naked people in a movie, you're like, oh, it's gonna get fucking weird, boys. I just love.
Were they dancing?
Yeah, they were going like this.
They were just
they were swaying.
Oh no, they were holding hands. Sorry, they were holding hands, and they were just going back and forth. It was very weird.
I just love
Very
being in a
warm
theater
hands.
with plebs doing scenes like that.
Oh boy.
Just witnessing that.
Oh,
I just think it's beautiful.
2 19, 20-year-old girls beside me.
They riled up.
They the entire movie when there was
giggling?
there was that moment of something somewhat funny happening, but it was kind of okay, I see why they did that. Losing their fucking minds. They were just
Oh, you sat next to my girlfriend and her friend.
just great
they were
great
cracking up,
folks.
eh?
They were laughing pretty hard. That. Yeah.
It's a fight or flight reflex.
It is.
It's
yeah.
it's so terrifyingly awkward that people don't know what to do except laugh.
Yeah.
And it happens to me a little bit. I'm just I'm a little bit like this is fucked.
I think what got me was when the mother of the girl who's getting plowed on the bed of flowers reaches down and grabs her daughter's hand or something like that, and
it's singing.
holds the face of Christian, and it was just singing, and it was just
And then there's the old lady
and
behind.
then there's someone pushing his
pushing
butt.
him.
Trying to coax the child to
get impregnated.
yeah.
It was pretty fun. I don't know. I lost it when she went down and grabbed his face. I was like,
The pube pie was great. That was a nice little funny, little gross thing.
What's gross?
Are we talking about the
Don't
cliff
forget
scene?
the drink.
You talk about the cliff. I mean, I guess that's the icebreaker of this film. Is
That's one of the skull breaker.
you know,
of this.
the sort of the way they treat their elders in this nice village is once they hit the tender age of 74. Basically, in other cultures, they might have taken them up to the mountain and leave them to die.
Sort of.
But in this, they don't leave them to die. They jump from this cliff. And let me just say, cliff probably isn't tall enough. Because when poor old gentleman who... I mean, he did it wrong, let's be honest.
He did. I thought that.
He didn't jump
What do
head
you
first.
do?
He jumped
First. Pencil, like as if you're diving into a pool. Like
dude breaks his leg, doesn't die, obviously. Question.
Excuse me.
I don't think he. I think. Okay, so there's two people, the woman and the man.
I'm with you so far.
Woman jumps first, face palms into a slab of granite, and her head explodes.
Head gone.
I think that was intentional. I think him diving that way was also intentional because they brought the hammer, it wasn't like yeah, I get the hammer. Like we'll
I thought the
finish
hammer
that.
is kind of like an as needed kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like
I
that.
don't know. It felt more
Break
like
glass.
ritualistic to me. Like the whole thing is ritualistic, I guess. Going to them, this, carrying them up, having this dinner, walking them over, letting them like breathe, and then that's very ritualistic. I didn't feel like the hammer was outside of that ritual. I thought like one of them kills themselves, and then the other one it was kind of like the village kills. You know what I mean? Because like three people whack.
Interesting, yeah.
With the hammer.
Okay.
Like you could read it either way.
Yeah.
But when I first saw it, I
brutal.
was like, oh, he jumped wrong.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't overt enough
Weren't they
that...
booing or something?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Oh, boo.
But I think it's almost like they were expected to die right away, and because it's like they kind of ruined it by not dying, and then they had to go then to the hammer.
That's how I
They
saw
were
it,
kind of
yeah.
sad that he didn't die right away. It's kind of what I got from it. That's why they were kind of wailing.
Boo,
And they
you
wailed.
killed yourself
They wailed.
wrong.
And they wailed on
They
his,
can
on his
wail,
head. They
yeah.
kind of reminded me of ancient Roman history and the gladiatorial combat. If someone didn't fully die, they had like a giant warhammer and then smash skulls with.
It was pretty interesting. It was like quiet, and like you could feel, you like as a member of the audience were like, "What the?"
The
fuck?
anticipation was like,
And then
It was
like
silent.
and then
Yeah.
like you hear like the people screaming, like the muted screaming of like the British travelers who also
Yeah.
show up, and you're like, "Okay." And
now
then
that kid got it pretty bad. You talk about he got butterflied.
yeah,
Oh.
filleted.
He got filleted. Yeah, I guess the thing with a lot of the ritual stuff, it wasn't like, if you guys have seen Apostle, I mean, there's a great twist in Apostle about like why the cult does these really culty things. There's like a supernatural twist. There's no supernatural twist in this film, which I was almost expecting. Now, I'm not going to lie, just while we're talking about those old people, I had a moment where I was like, I thought I was really smart. I thought I like had figured out
You
the
cracked
movie.
the code.
I was like, I fucking got it. Because that old lady looked a lot like Florence Pugh.
Oh,
Like,
fuck.
a lot. Like,
What?
and I was like, does that old guy look like Jack Rayner? Like, what's going on? Are they like old versions that or something weird like that?
Shit.
Because she looked a lot like Danny, the character. But no.
But what canceled that for you? What made you
I'm in
realize,
on
like...
that. I was.
No, it's not.
Nothing was ever touched on that.
Oh, okay. It's just the
That
fact that it
would've
never
been-
came up.
Yeah.
In theory.
Like, I was like, oh, is
doesn't
she
rule it
gonna
out.
like find her family here? And she kind of did. I mean, we'll get to that. But
Right.
yeah, I did like the scene where, I guess after the sex scene, and Danny's, after she has her,
Her blessing moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what her scene was right before that, as that was happening.
She
The
was...
dance tournament.
Well, no, she was
Yeah.
digging the hole, and they were throwing meat and stuff like that and blessing the earth.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
And then they went back to the village.
So she looked through the keyhole and saw Christian just going to Pound Town.
Well, I think he was being coached by quite
But he
a few.
wanted it.
Oh, he wanted it.
He also
Definitely
was
was
under the
drugged
influence of like a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
And
Like,
the
we
pube-
don't know what those Swedes are
pube
putting in
magic.
there. Yeah.
But also he wanted
Menstrual
it.
blood
Yeah.
So
as well.
Um,
Sipping on
in the juice.
Danny has a bit of a
Fine
breakdown.
juice.
She goes back to her quarters, and she's followed by her cult
New entourage.
handmaidens, if you will.
Her squad.
Squad goals.
Yeah.
They were squad goals.
They
Yeah.
were.
Oh, for sure.
They held each other up. They were
Yes.
great.
Supportive.
Indeed.
Very supportive.
Dance to
I
the crowd.
love that scene of them like her like wailing, and then they like start to like sync up
Yeah.
with their like screaming and
Oh, I was going to say periods.
Basically,
yeah.
I mean,
So,
For all we know, it is a
they're
cult.
fully synced.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was such a great scene. It was almost like her. It was very cathartic for her character. She's like She's like with her family now.
Yeah,
This is like her family is dead. She's trying to deal with that grief.
She's feeling this.
Trying to latch on to Christian because she doesn't have anyone else.
It was like an actual support network that she needed.
Yeah.
Like some people that were like just willing to be there for her.
They felt
and go
it with
through
her.
that, even though they didn't know really what. Like they understood what was going on, but they didn't know.
And the way I read it is almost like it's not necessarily that these are like a cult or that this is a cult. I wouldn't read it as face value as you could.
Yeah.
I just feel like she's just in regular life. She's found friends, and then she's been able to get over grief from that, and she found her boyfriend cheating on her, and
you just described like a safe sort of like summer camp movie.
Yeah,
which you could say, like
Midsommar.
Exactly. Like, I get that, but then there was like death, so that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards the cultish side of it. Otherwise, I would agree with you.
Now, what do you guys think about the sort of finale, if you will?
Oof.
Well, before we get to that, I want to talk about Jack Rayner because he that's kind of important to this.
Didn't think he was scummy.
What did you think of his dick?
I did. Well, he's packing more than I thought he was.
No Fassbender.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's no.
Yeah.
Fassbender does not.
There's no Marky Mark. So
It's no Tilda.
Yeah.
It's no Tilda Swinton.
Biggest dick in the game.
She swings that dick.
Hammer time.
Swinging that thing.
Yeah. So to me, before her parents died, like at the beginning of the movie, you got the vibe that he didn't want to be in this relationship.
Not at all.
Not at all. You don't think
No,
that, or
no,
he didn't?
I mean,
okay.
He not at all
I was like,
wanted to be in that
what?
relationship.
Not at all.
Not at all. You're wrong. No, he just.
And this is why.
They kind of laid it out for you, and was just like he does not want to be in this, but at the same time, he would have been a scumbag had he broken up with his girlfriend when there was just a giant murder-suicide in the family.
Right.
So to me, like
He did the right thing.
To me, he did the right thing, and actually, even inviting her to come to Sweden, also in my mind, still the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, his friends are the scumbags.
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
Like Will Poulter's the real scumbag.
Yeah.
But he says like just make it seem like you want her to go. She'll come to her senses and not go. Like he didn't want. her to
Yeah.
Like I kind of disagree with you. I think that he was trying to hide from having to do it, and
Oh,
then this
definitely.
horrible thing happened, and his friends were like, "You're not happy. You're forcing yourself to not be happy. That doesn't make any sense. Like, why wouldn't you just break up with this girl? You obviously don't want to be with her. She doesn't.
Right.
She really wants to be with you because she's crazy. They call her like crazy and stuff like that in the movie. And then he's kind of like, yeah, okay, like yeah, I should, and doesn't do it, and then gets kind of roped into bringing her because he
has
feels
to.
yeah.
Now, see those
And then-
those moves I don't see as a scumbag.
But I don't think like
Because I think it's kind of.
it's saying like does he actually care about her or does he just not want to hurt her feelings?
It could have
I
been.
think it's almost like you didn't want to her to basically commit suicide herself
because she lost
because
everything.
you don't want to. I mean, it's in a tough situation, right?
Yeah.
Entire family dead.
I bet he wishes
You
he didn't
did break
bring
up
her
with
now.
her.
I
I mean, that's terrible.
No, I know, but I don't know. It just felt like he was not doing it because I don't know. I don't think he was being
You think he was
honest
being
with.
selfish?
I think he was being
He wasn't
selfish
doing it.
and trying to find a good time. But yeah, we should not do this anymore. Which was it was scummy in a weird way.
Okay.
Where it was like
It's a gray. It's a big gray.
It's a very
area.
moral gray area, and then his actions with his friends and other stuff with the film's like, oh, you are a piece of shit.
See, I don't think so because he had this as the movie goes on, put the pre-Sweden aside.
Yeah.
As he kind of goes on, you kind of know that he has that inkling to get out of this relationship, and so as he's going on, he's just getting so fucking high that he just he loses the ability to pretty much say no. He loses his own mind and acts more on impulse than anything.
His impulse was not to go and be with his girlfriend; it was to be with this other girl who likes him.
He told the Swedish guy before they left for Sweden that he wanted to do his thesis on the Swedish people, and then dropped it on Will Poulter's character. It was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do it. We'll clear it with him. And then the Swedish guy's like, oh, he already asked me. I said it was fine.
You mean
the other guy's
Will
like-
Poulter is the white guy.
William Jackson Harper?
William Jackson
okay.
Harper, sorry.
I just call him Cheaty.
Will Harper, Will Poulter.
Yeah.
Will Harper. Yeah.
I thought it was Poulter, my bad.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're coming from that.
He
I don't know.
forgot
I just
her birthday and just gives her a dusty cake. with a
Yeah, that
candle.
was-
I think that what's his face got him the cake. The Swedish guy gave him the cake to give to her. I think.
That's
I think
worse.
definitely
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
the Swedish guy was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, it's
Yeah.
her birthday. You didn't do anything."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
I think didn't they not mention that?
Yeah, he did. He did do that, and
Yeah.
but they didn't mention him getting him the cake though.
Right. It's kind of assumed that
Yeah.
someone he probably didn't.
He didn't just walk into the kitchen. Hey, you guys got any cake?
Yeah.
Like someone probably got it for him.
But as far as the sort of what the reason for all these, basically, what's his name? Willem Blomgren. I forget this character. Pelle.
Pele.
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 Pele basically basically
Creep.
sacrifices. I mean, but for what? I mean, that's what I'm not sure. It's for the sun. It's for good luck for the harvest.
Seems like the next cycle because they kind of see it cyclically, so maybe like the next
Just
cycle's
for
a good
good luck?
cycle. Yeah.
Right.
What I don't understand is like why they need to like cut Will Poulter's entire skin off,
Oof.
Did they do that?
or
Get skinned.
oh yeah,
bud.
someone was wearing his skin.
They played Skin the Fool.
Someone was wearing that. That wasn't just him all fucked up.
No.
No,
When he
someone was-
walks in,
Do you know the
and
Oracle?
kills
And
Will
Chidi.
Harper?
Yeah, the black guy.
Yeah, the guy who like walked in and looked at him, that's somebody wearing Will Poulter's face.
Oh,
Wasn't it the
shit.
Oracle wearing?
I don't know if it was,
No.
it was the
It was
Oracle
some-
that hit him, I think.
They were both there. It was two of them. It was the Oracle person, then there was whoever was wearing
Mm-hmm.
Will Poulter's skin.
I think it was the guy who got mad that he pissed on the tree, for
Probably.
sure.
Could have been, yeah. Oh no,
I mean,
well, it wasn't Will
I
Poulter
s-
that was
I
killed.
assume.
It could have been the other guy, like the guy who was like, "Can I take pictures of that?"
Yeah.
No.
You know what? One thing I noticed that was a mistake was so Will Harper
Yeah.
gets. He was the one that got hit over the head.
Yeah.
Right. So he died, and later Jack Rayner sees his
Uh,
leg
Yeah.
in the garden sticking
Yup.
up,
Yeah.
and then later when you see Will Harper in the final house,
Yeah.
final building, he's got two legs.
Sorry, bud.
Do you guys see that?
I
To me,
did.
he was just buried upside down.
I was just thinking, like, did they
Oh,
bury him
that's
upside
such a
down?
cop out.
I know, I don't know.
Is it? Like,
Like,
why would
they-
they just bury a
Like
leg
they buried
upside
him
down?
with like one leg like this and one leg in
Yeah.
the ground. It's like
To me, they just threw him in a hole and his leg just happened to be sticking out and they just filled it.
ah.
I didn't think they dismembered him because I didn't. There was no one.
I did think of that reasoning, but like, it just seems weird.
Anyway, it's something I
Yeah, because
I
that's the
noticed.
weird part of this movie.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
weird.
That's the part where I draw the line.
So-
Okay.
So they're basically taking all these people and they're sacrificing them.
Mm.
I didn't understand why the other guy that tried to run away, they like filleted him and like pulled his lungs out. Like, that's not necessary.
And they were still breathing.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
I did not fuck
That
with
was that's like Hannibal level.
Mm.
Very. First thing I thought was
Creep.
fucking
That's not
Hannibal.
necessary, guys.
I was like, is this
Nope.
Sicario? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
in this
what are we
movie?
doing here?
Bit much. Like, don't even know what came of that.
What happened to the girlfriend?
She got whacked.
She got driven to the airport.
Yeah, she
Last I
got-
heard.
She got home.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff, I feel like there's got to be some scenes that they cut. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like what happened to them?
Shit. I would like to know what
I was
happened.
hoping for some more overt killings.
Mm.
But basically, they get taken into this house that they burn.
The Yellow Forbidden Temple.
Jack Rayner gets paralyzed and sewn lovingly into a bear.
Nick
So-
Cage Wicker Man alert. Getting that bear suit.
How to get burned?
Yeah.
So what were Danny's
Not a fan.
options? Her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend,
Thanks.
Christian, or just a random criminal
No.
from the village?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Pella?
Like, no, Danny when she wins the queen,
She could have
May
picked some
Queen?
dude.
May Queen, yeah.
May Queen.
random dude or Christian
Yeah.
to be sewn into the bear and burned alive.
Oh,
She
While
picks
paralyzed.
Christian.
She picks
This
Christian.
was wildin'.
And, well, I had a theory. It's kind of like that's like the one last piece of her old life.
That she's basically cutting
Indeed,
loose.
yeah.
And so
Letting
she
go.
knows that like he just broke my heart.
Yeah.
I
She
don't
needs to
want my
cut
old
that out.
life. So let it
She's
burn.
like taking back power,
Hmm.
becoming a
And that's what she
strong
was
woman.
saying in that interview was that she didn't believe her character would actually do that.
Yeah, what does that mean? I've been thinking about that this
See,
whole time.
to her character to not actually do that means that her character in her right state of mind
That
would
she
not do
wasn't
that.
in the right state of mind. Yeah.
Exactly. So
She was
to me,
drugged up?
she was like, she'd fallen into this psychosis from being there like a week. Like, she just starts to see, like, the people that she came with, she thought were her friends, like Jack Rayner, you know, like,
Yeah.
I thought, you know, he was my support system, but he's not, but I have these women that are here, that are supporting me, like, they kind of molds her into realizing that this is my family, and this has to die.
The more we talk about it, the more I see what you're saying about, like, it, it, like, literally happened in Sweden, and it was, like, a crazy cult, but, like, it's also a metaphor for, like, her life
Just
moving
her,
on
yeah.
beyond this
A
relationship.
relationship.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what I
all
was trying to
fucking
say.
up.
It's hard to,
Articulate.
yeah.
I noticed like the
bizarre.
seasonal shift too. It opens on like that harsh winter,
Yeah.
like blizzard,
Mm.
and then obviously all the tragedy happens, and then they go to Sweden and it's summer. Surprise, obviously, and she's like
Middle.
getting
Summer.
out of that grief, middle of summer, and she's
Mid-summer. some would say.
passing the grief.
Midsommar.
Midsommar.
School.
The bed. Oh.
I definitely think I'm gonna see this
Sorry.
movie again. I gotta be honest. I gotta rewatch this thing in my basement alone.
What about
No
that
want
poor
to watch
friend
it,
of
rewatch it.
Pele that he didn't do such a good job of recruiting, so he ended up being a sacrifice. I'm sorry.
I don't recall. But
You know the couple, that one guy gets filleted.
From the
yeah,
UK.
yeah.
There was
British.
the other
The
Pele
guy who brought him.
them.
His friend, who he met, like the first person they meet when they go to Sweden.
The guy who had the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
The guy also from the village.
Right.
At the end, he's one of the guys that just didn't have a choice that got sacrificed.
Right.
It's like, did he not get? He didn't get the good ones. He didn't prepare them well enough.
Oh, the girl was in a wheelbarrow at the end. The girl from the UK. She was
That's
like
what I was
wheeled in
thinking.
on a
Was that her?
wheelbarrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was wheeled in on a wheelbarrow. I don't remember how she got there, but
Oh, she just got.
It
She
was
got
like skinned face, so
Yeah.
kind of hard to recognize.
I thought it was funny when Will Poulter, when they put Will Poulter in, it's like clearly like a doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like he doesn't have any.
Like wax.
He only has
like,
skin. It's just like they're like trying to prop him up, and he's falling over.
How about when the two villagers like volunteer and they're like, "Oh, this will numb you from the pain. You'll be good." And then the fire starts and they're like screaming.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it was just the one guy that volunteered. The other guy didn't volunteer. Pele's friend. It was just that guy that. I mean, it's volunteer, right?
yeah.
yeah.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't work, eh? The guy was screaming. Why would he scream? I mean, you just take it like a man.
Just
Just,
Just take it
die
on
by
the-
fire like a man.
take it on the
Fucking
chin.
Get roasted, bro.
You're the one that fucking volunteered, so don't be screaming, bitch.
Yeah, you kind of knew what was
Like, what do you
going
think's
on.
gonna happen?
Yeah, don't
It was
I thought
kinda-
I thought it was great visually, like seeing that building burn. Like you can tell it was one take.
Oh
obviously,
yeah.
right. I love that.
It was
shit.
gorgeous.
There was,
See those
uh,
big explosions or big fires. And I'm like, oh,
There's the moment with Jack Rayner when he's going into speak. I can't remember what the girl's name is. She's kind of running shit.
Yeah.
Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. The old lady there. She's running the game.
Hag? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
When
village?
she goes into her office, and she's sitting. He goes and like sits in the
oh,
first
that was a good
room,
scene, yeah.
and he's just sitting there, and he's like looking at the wall, and there's like the bear in a cage on fire. And you're just
Yeah,
watching and
that's
going,
slow foreshadowing.
"That's weird, interesting." And then as the movie goes on, oh, there it is.
Yeah,
That's why that
there's
was
the
there.
bear on fire. That's a rough way to go.
Yeah.
I liked in that scene though how he was like, "I didn't steal the thing, whatever. I don't." And she's like, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said, but
Pretty much like,
Yeah.
we just want it back.
but it was like almost like, "Oh, you're not here for that. You're here.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're here to
okay.
fuck."
Yeah.
Mary or something wants to mate with you.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I ate her pubes.
She's
like, yeah,
I think
probably.
I sampled one of her pubes.
Yeah,
or
probably
whatever.
makes sense. Yeah.
That annoyed me. I was like, what the fuck?
I think it was like
whiz bang comedy. Like, yeah, I ate her pubes. Like, who
But
was,
he's
Yeah.
like on drugs, right?
was
Yeah.
he at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
He drank the
Okay.
saffron water.
arguably, I would say every moment of this movie, I would just assume that they are feeling some effects of some drugs.
I don't
Like
wanna
you
do
could
any
argue
drugs after
when they
seeing
took the
this.
drugs that they were tripping. The entire movie was a trip after that.
Yeah.
I did
right?
like the face melting visuals too. when she
It
first
just
tries
looks
the
like
mushrooms.
their faces look like a little off, like a
Yeah.
little distorted.
Yeah.
and like, wait,
How about
what?
when she's wearing all those flowers and you see like the
Yeah.
irises like opening and closing? I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that was
a
fuck.
really cool
I was
effect.
like holding on to my chair, like, am I?
Really cool effect.
Like
what
the-
did they put in this popcorn?
The grass coming out of her hand and out of the foot
Yeah.
Great effect.
freaked the fuck out of me.
Yes.
You've seen that, right? You've had that happen.
Yesterday.
I've seen it.
Yesterday. I thought more would come from the Oracle as well, like the deformed
Yeah.
ancestral product.
I was kind of thinking he would kind of come more towards the end, like there would be more of a tie-in with him, but
From the marketing, like the image of his face kind of like went viral and went everywhere. Like before the trailer was, maybe after the trailer was out, but before the movie was out. And then in the trailer there was like slow zooms of his face. I'm like, holy shit! Like what is this guy about? Like this guy's gonna do something big.
It just kind of speaks to
There's
how it's the whole movie was like very, if you have a thought about it could be this, it was that.
or
Like there was no
yeah,
second level like supernatural or other element that they revealed late in the game of like this is what's been happening this whole time. Like you could have thought after looking at the first few scenes like, oh, they're gonna sacrifice them or something. Oh yeah, they did do that. Like there's no other level to it. And when they're like how he was talking about how there's the 4 cycles in the villager's life,
yeah.
and it's from this age to this age and 50 to 74, and what happens at 74? And he's like,
Yeah, everyone just laughs.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at
and
him
I
like,
knew from then, like obviously.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was, you could take it for face value, and that's what happened. So yeah, it didn't have that extra element like with the Oracle. It's like
That's
the
what was
Oracle is
missing a bit
just
for me.
the Oracle was just writing down the things, and that was it. There was no other
Making some
secret
finger paintings.
secret second tier like IQ
Yeah.
level that you
Right.
could infer
Pull
from
from
it. But yeah.
Disappointed.
Overall, I always love in films is when I watch a film in theaters and I liked it, and after the movie ends,
Listening to people.
and they're like, "That movie sucked. I hated that. It was so stupid."
Happens quite a few
Yeah.
times on the
While
way out of the theater.
disappointed,
I love that.
I did not hate it, and I was laughing at like the triggered plebs
Mhm.
walking out of the theater.
That's one of my favorite feelings like of all time.
The Vavitch
It's just
for me was that,
That's
and Hereditary
yeah.
yeah.
actually. Stupid.
Oddly enough,
Stupid.
I love it.
oddly enough, those 2 girls that sat beside me had some pretty big, pretty insightful intake into the film. They're like, I'm comparing it to Hereditary, but like this, and I was just like,
Like, what's that? May I?
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
please go on.
Was there anything else you guys want to mention?
I think you guys talked me up. I'm gonna go heavy 4.
What?
Oh,
There's so many
this
like
guy was dying.
there's
to talk
so
it
many
up.
like layers. There's like look at how long we
This guy
talked about
wanted
this
the
movie.
juice.
Yeah.
And like we covered a lot of it. We covered almost the whole thing. It's
Yeah.
just, like, and still it doesn't feel like boring. It doesn't feel like
Hmm.
stale. I'm gonna go heavy 4. Heavy 4.
Wow.
Talk me up.
That'll do it for our review of Midsommar.
That'll do.
Phil, where can people find you?
Find me on Letterboxd at Wicked Swami.
Oh, that's right.
Tyler?
Fuck you, Tim.
Take
You
it
can find
down.
us on Facebook and on Instagram at Up Real Late Podcast. You can also find me on Letterboxd at Up Real Tie. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
No, you
You
can't.
can find me on Twitter at Franey25 and Instagram and Letterboxd at UpRealAdam.
Find myself, Scott, on Letterboxd at UpRealScott as well. If you like this video, leave a like on it. Leave a comment below in the comment section. And, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And, as always, keep it real.